Moving on now, the Nigerian Senate has invited Ahmed Isah, popularly known as the Ordinary President and host of the Brekete Family show, to appear before lawmakers on or before February 27th. Now, the summon is reportedly linked to a recent live broadcast of his show, where Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan aired her grievances against Senate President Godswill Akpabio. Isah, during the video, called both senators to address the controversy, while Natasha Uduaghan responded and accused the Senate leadership of victimization. Senator Akpabio declined the call 3 times. Well, following this summons by the Senate, the ordinary president has taken a different stance. Look at this.
See where I said she was wrong. Did you see that? But she must apologize to. She must apologize. She must apologize. You know, every reaction has an action that triggered the reaction.
Which we don't know.
So as we don't know waiting be the action will trigger the reaction. Waiting with the see now her reaction. And on the surface here, everybody don't see say she did wrong by her outburst. She go apologize.
Now, in a video before this, Ahmed Isah was saying that Nigerians stand behind Natasha and that they were going to make sure that she was apologized to by the Senate president. And so this juxtaposition is clearly a backtrack. But with the Brekete Family show widely regarded as a platform for the common man, of course, many Nigerians are now questioning if this Senate invitation is an attempt to silence him or if there are deeper political tensions at play. Because why is he backtracking? I'm going to take some social media commentary. I absolutely love to hear what you guys have to say. Senator Shehu Sani weighed in on this. He says, inviting Ahmed Isah, the CEO of Brekete Radio, to the Senate is unnecessary and demeaning. Thank you, sir. Eukaria says, lol, LOL. So the masses have turned against her now. How did he change his stance so quickly? Only in Nigeria do the oppressed end up apologizing to their oppressors. And La Majora says, ordinary president no go fold care. Ordinary president now stutters. Nigeria is a gang up. You are on top. The fact that you are on top is that those who want you to do away with your platform have not had time yet or thought for you. Once you trigger their interest, they must either make you fold or make you go. I'm going to take one last tweet. Now, Morola says, needless to say, it shows you the priority of our leaders. If a Senate president is so petty, I wonder what they discuss in the Senate chambers. This is all extremely interesting. I find it very interesting that Ahmed Isah put the 2 lawmakers on the spot like that, and Senator Godswill Akpabio not answering the call. He's a very, very busy man. I don't think that speaks to his credibility in this situation. But I'm going to move on to my last story. In my final story, the children and the grandchildren of the late military ruler, General Sani Abacha, have taken to social media to defend his legacy after fresh claims linking him to the annulment of the June 12, 1993 elections. Now, former military president General Ibrahim Babangida recently blamed forces led by Abacha, who was then his chief of defense staff, for the infamous annulment. In response, Abacha's daughter Gumsu, his son Sadiq, and his grandson Rais have expressed admiration for their late patriarch, insisting that his leadership remains significant despite all the ongoing scrutiny. Now, of course, as usual, their comments have sparked heated reactions online, and many Nigerians are debating Abacha's place in history. Was he a dictator? Was he a hero? Or was he just a pawn, as is being alleged by General Babangida? I'd love to take a look at social media. Rinu Oduala says, if only this country was China or North Korea, people with last names like yours wouldn't even dare to show in public, not to talk of having the audacity to tell us narratives about who is more evil. There's a passionate tweet. Dr. Gaza Kure says, history might judge him differently, sure, but only if we ignore the facts and romanticize a thief As a hero, Nigerians deserved better than a leader who murdered, stole, and called it strength, referring to the Abacha loot. Malachi says, 7 p.m. in response to Rais Abacha, the grandson of General Abacha. He says, 7 p.m. news on NTA. We danced and celebrated our liberation from the despot. And finally, Chuksin had this to say. He says, all these children who were fed with looted funds won't keep quiet and hide their heads in shame. This is all very interesting. Veronica and Ibrahim, what do you guys think about this summons and this seemingly backtrack by Ahmed Isah, the ordinary president, right, as well as Abacha's children and grandchildren coming to his defense, despite the knowledge we have of the late general?
All right, let me begin with ordinary president. I think that we need to respect people who occupy certain offices, and I disagree with the fact that if the Senate president did not pick his call, it's a question on his integrity. I want to know what's transpired behind the scene. Did he, the ordinary president, tell the third citizen of this country that he was going to call him on his show, or he just decided to pick his phone and call him? The Senate president has an office we must respect. Yes, there was an issue. I do not like the way the matter went on at the floor of the Senate, but we must respect these people and their offices. Yes, they have a responsibility to answer us when we call on them, but you must also follow protocol and respect their office. Did he speak with him before then to know if he's available to join in on the conversation? That's a question I'd like to know answered. And then if the Senate president had agreed and then did not pick his call, then I can say it's a question on his integrity. Now for the late Sani Abacha and his children trying to defend him, I think that history or posterity will continue to speak for certain persons. For him, a lot of persons lost their parents, lost their families because of his personality and how he handled it. Yes, he must have treated his children with love, but a lot of people lost their parents, lost their fathers in the course of he being who he was at the time. I don't want to talk too much on this, but yeah,
we're actually out of time. But let me just quickly speak to the ordinary president. I feel if it was me, if I were the one, I would consider it an infra dig. Not talk about the third person. I mean, the third personality of this country, the Senate president. You can't just call people. You can't batch into their privacy and just call them and expect them to now give you a matter that is of national interest. Yes, you represent the people. You do. I love the daring attitude, the confidence, and everything. But then I consider it complete demeaning to the persons of Natasha and that of the Senate president. So you should honor their invitation and explain better. But I disagree with Senator Shehu Tsani on this.
All right, we'll have to leave the conversation here. Olamide, thank you for bringing us all of
You're
those
welcome.
Stories. This is where we draw the curtains